Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Pashvika, the channel where we talk a lot about the female stuff, self-productivity, menstrual cycle, everything about it. Well, in today's video, we're gonna be talking about how to deal with the toxic people, and I'm gonna be really straightforward and honest with you in this video because I had a lot of experience in dealing with the toxic people, and I'm not talking about toxic people once every single month. At times you would be having those toxic people in your friend circle, in your group, in your family members, in your colleagues, or in your business, or whatever it is. How to deal with that and how to set a clear-cut boundaries to actually define the limit of yourself, that how much you're gonna take it from them, or whether you won't be taking anything from them. So with that, before go park, consider clicking like button, guys. I do really appreciate that. If you want more such video, consider subscribing. And also guys, we do have some resources in the description box below. You can check it out, the planners and workbook and all. Anyway guys, let's be diving into the tips, and also I'm gonna share some my own personal experience in between the tips, so hopefully you can relate to that. The first thing first is to actually create awareness among yourself whether that person is really toxic or is not. Oftentimes, when we are having a toxic relationship, whether it's a romantic partner, whether family member, friends or colleague, or someone who is so much near and dear to our heart, we actually don't recognize their toxic behavior. We think that it's just normal. Thinking that I also have some negative qualities, so if that person also has the negative qualities, then that's okay. I mean, we have to compromise, we have to adjust. So we often ignore the toxic behavior, especially when we are surrounded that person maybe 24 hours. So you have to recognize the toxic behavior, then only you're gonna find some way to actually deal with that. Now, the toxicity doesn't come with the red flag, hey, it's a toxic, hey, it's a toxic, no, or it's a danger, no. You have to actually recognize them, because people, like personally from my own experience, I have dealt with the toxicity in my colleagues, when I was in a college, the colleagues, also in my friend circle, also in my family. So I have dealt with them in a lot many different varieties, and I can tell you, most of the time toxicity doesn't come like very straightforward. You won't be able to recognize it unless you really actually think about the conversation that you're having with them and all that stuff. You won't be able to catch that they are toxic to you, because you would be like, oh, it's a natural human behavior, nothing toxic is there. Your time, and if you feel like you're talking with some person and they are telling you something, or they're behaving or acting in a certain way that doesn't make you feel good about yourself, that doesn't make you feel happy about yourself, then you really need to analyze the situation. This is one of the biggest red flag I can tell you. Whenever you are talking with someone or being with that person in a relationship, or whatever it is, that their behavior, their act of talking or speaking or something like that actually intimidates you. And I'm talking about the intimidation in the wrong way, not in a good sense. I'm telling you that they make you feel in a certain way that you don't want to feel it, that they make you feel like there's something wrong with you, or they make you feel like something you need to fix for yourself, or they make you feel like you are feeling miserable, you're feeling sad, depressed, or something like that, then that is one of the biggest red flag of the toxic relationship. So if that is something you are dealing with there, then please analyze the situation with that particular person. Just think about the conversations that you're having with that person on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and what are the conversations look like, what other person is saying or acting or behaving, and what are those things that are actually triggering something you that makes you feel sad or bad about yourself. So that is the first thing to recognize. The second tip I have for you, which is kind of like more relatable to me, because I was listening to that book, Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass. She has one chapter in her book, we're talking about the difficult people, toxic relationships, and she was saying that no matter how good that person is, how many million times that person actually helped you, or how good or hot and sexy qualities they are having, but the reason that you feel miserable while having that conversation with them or exchanging the words is something really you need to look into. That means you need to feed your mind that there is something wrong happening, even if you like that person or admire that person so much. It has nothing to do with that. Something that they are actually talking with you and conveying you something that makes you feel in that way. So you need to feed your mind that you have to deal with that person. Even if that person is one of the most amazing human being you ever met in your life. Even if that person is so much close to you, maybe your parent, maybe your friend, your sister, your boyfriend, whatever it is, whomsoever that person is, and they're so much near to you, feed your mind regarding that I'm not gonna take that shit. So that is the third tip I have for you. Once you recognize that this is the behavior that actually triggering you, and that is a toxic person, the second thing you actually feed your mind that you need to deal with that is to actually don't take shit from people. Yes, I mean it. I mean it. I am that person who doesn't take it. Like I used to take in the very beginning in the early 20s when I was going with the flow and just taking the people's shit and all and all and all, and resulting I felt so miserable. Like I take their shit the whole day, and when I'm actually going to the bed at night I feel so miserable, and sometimes I cry so badly. I don't know at that time why I was crying so badly, why I'm feeling so pathetic after having the conversation. Like they are actually draining my energy so much, and I feel so bad after that. Those were people in my friends. In fact, I was also in a romantic toxic relationship, so I have a romantic toxic partner as well in the past. Because the moment you start respecting yourself and telling yourself enough is enough, and I have taken a lot of the stuff from them, and now I'm feeling miserable about it because I can't help other people, or I can't listen to them other people if I'm not listening to myself, or if I'm not helping myself. I hope it makes sense, right? Because if you're not helping yourself, if you're not treating yourself nicely, how are you going to treat other people nicely? Their people's shit again and again, their abusive behavior, whatever that looks like, and you're not actually taking care of yourself, you're feeling bad about it, you're feeling disrespectful about it, the cycle will going to continue until you actually recognize and you are in such a bad state that you go into depression or sadness or something like that. So tell yourself enough is enough. I'm not gonna take any more shit from this person or any more shit from any other toxic person in my life ever, in future, not in present. So you have to tell yourself and remind yourself again and again. No matter how that person is, no matter if that person is so amazing, so beautiful, so hot, sexy, admiring, you love them, you respect them, but no way. You have to cross a boundary over here. You have to have a boundary over here. Otherwise, you're gonna keep on doing that shit to yourself. You're gonna feel bad about it, and that thing will going to reflect time on time. Fourth tip I have for you is to set a clear-cut boundaries. Okay. Once you know that this is a toxic behavior, this is a toxic person, and you have feed your mind, you know, now you need to set clear-cut boundaries. If you're seeing that person every single day, it's in your working, like in your job or in your business or in your friends, and you have to see them every single day, set a clear-cut boundaries, have a limited contact. Like you won't be talking them like they are your best friend or something like that. No, you would have a limited contact. You're only gonna talk with them or have a conversation with them when you really need to, because you have to do that work where you're working or something or the other. And if it's in your family member, your boyfriend, your parents, or your brother, sister, whomsoever, set a clear-cut boundaries. When we are surrounded by those people 24/7, we are living with them, we are not able to set the clear-cut boundaries, and you have to set them a clear-cut boundaries. The fifth tip I have for you is to just get out of them or move out of it. And this may sound rude, but honestly, it's true. If you're dealing with the toxic person in your friend circle, then maybe stop being friend with that person. Seriously. I know that it may feel bad because you love that person, you respect them, you admire them, you find them hot and sexy and all that stuff. It's very hard because you are emotionally linked with that person, whether being your romantic partner or friendship, whatever it is, and now you feel bad because you're actually unfriending them from your life, but you have to do it. So you have to move out of it. If it's a friend, then you have to unfriend them. You have to take care of yourself, because if you're not doing yourself, if you're not treating yourself, trust me, no one will ever going to treat yourself nicely. So you have to do that. So that is the thing, you have to move out. And if it's in your romantic partner, you're dating someone, it's your boyfriend, it's your girlfriend, and they're toxic, they're mean, then I want to tell them, convey them that this kind of behavior is toxic. And if they are ready to change, amazing. Then you could have an amazing relationship with them. But if it's something that they are not ready to change and they want to be in that behavior for so long, then probably you have to end that relationship. I personally did that. I was in a toxic relationship, I think for 2.5 or 3 years. I recognized very late, and then I was like, because I wasn't able to see myself doing all those things which I never did before. And I was like, what the hell is happening? I have to end this relationship because it's taking so much out of me and it's not really healthy, it's toxic. So end that relationship. And if that person is your family member, like your parent, your brother, sister, or your in-laws or something like that, then probably move out of the place if you can. Like if you move out of your parents' place, and I'm not telling you to move out like that, like you should have finances and your job and all that stuff in place, and only you'll be able to move out of it. Otherwise, how you gonna support yourself? But if you can, then probably move out of your homes, your parents' place, and have your own place, because that's the only way you're gonna limiting contact with them. And if nothing works for you in this case, and you can't move out of that stuff, and you have to be there, and it's that you can't change it, then limit your contact and set proper boundaries. Have a very limited contact. Actually heal yourself, because those toxic relationship that you were in or that you are in might have taken a lot of the stuff from you. To heal from them, you have to recognize that what you were doing in that toxic relationship, or what you're doing in the relationship, that's actually harming you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, or whatever way it is. You have to recognize them and you have to heal yourself. For me, it was more of a mental abuse and verbal abuse rather than being a physical one. So mental and emotional for me was really a big deal to actually handle. I mean, I'm not sure what is big deal for you to handle, but still recognize and start with the healing process. Maybe join some online communities or offline communities, or hire a coach, or talk to some people who is actually dealing with a similar thing, or talk to the people who is like-minded, like who are doing the similar thing as you're doing in your life, in your career, are going through a similar situation. Get the necessary help and support if you can. If you haven't healed from the situation, if you haven't treated yourself, and you haven't gone through the stuffs that you have been, then you would be able to start attracting more such toxic people in your life again and again. And that is kind of like a pattern, because people who we attract in our life are kind of like a mirror to us, whether it's a romantic partner, whether it's a friendship or colleagues or whatever it is. So you have to heal yourself. You have to deal with your own stuff as well, like the limiting beliefs, insecurities, fear, anxiety, and all that stuff. And then you would be able to attract the right kind of people in your life, whether for dating or whether for having friendship or whatever it is. So healing yourself is really crucial. Hopefully these tips will going to help you dealing with a toxic person. These are my honest tips, because personally I have dealt with a toxic person a lot many times. Like I've unfriended those friends, I break up from that relationship. Now I do still have the toxic person in my life. Like I've removed a lot of them, because I was having a pattern in my life. Like I was keep on attracting these toxic people in my life. So I don't have any sort of connection with them. So I'm actually healed from them. The last toxic relationship that I need to handle with is with my parent. And this is something I don't want to talk to so much about it, but still I feel like the kind of like the behavior is not healthy and it's not serving me anymore. In fact, it never served me, but since I was a kid and they seen me growing up and they actually grown me up, so I wasn't able to go against them, and I never wanted to go against them. It's just that I want to protect myself and I want to give myself a good environment, a happy environment where I can fully thrive, because right now I'm like kind of like in survival mode when I'm with them. So I have to get out of this, because being in a survival mode for a long time or for every day, it's not healthy. Okay, so I'm still dealing with that, and in the future I'm gonna be able to get out of the situation for completely, I know for sure. So hopefully these tips will going to help you. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you have any experience dealing with a toxic person or relationship, well, love to hear. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care.